Okay, that was a fast couple of minutes. Here we are back again. I'm Dawn Reby, CEO of Excellence in Analytics, and we are bringing on Rhea Gerstenkorn, who has just a phenomenal story to share relative to her growth, right? Relative to where she was and where she is now. And so, Rhea, when you are ready, go ahead and request in. Oh, I don't know what I just did. Oops. You might need to request to be added in. I think I just messed that up. Go ahead. There we go. All right. She's requesting. Okay. So Rhea's going to pop on in, and for 10 minutes or so, we're going to just talk about Rhea and her story. And my hope for you, hey, Elizabeth, my hope for you is that it completely inspires you, All right. There we are. Hey, Rhea, how are you today?
Good, how are you? Trying to I forgot it had to be a certain way, so give me 1 second.
All right, sure thing. So Rhea's going to share with us her story, where she was just a couple of years ago. You got that there?
I think I'm good as long as I don't move.
Okay, don't move. So Rhea, let's just get a sense of who you are. We're going to spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes just talking about your story and hopefully inspire some folks here to take charge of their lives the way that you did. So you want to give a little shout out to, what's your background? What are you in? And what was your biggest problem that you were trying to overcome?
Thanks. So my name is Rhea Gerstenkorn. I am a senior criminal intelligence analyst with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office here in South Florida. I'm also the president of the Florida Crime and Intelligence Analyst Association, and I have been a member of the tribe since like day one, and I've been part of EIA, Excellence in Analytics, for almost 2 years now.
I love it. Yeah. And now you're actually one of our members, right? You're on our employee payroll now because you're so amazing. I love it. Rhea has a great story and comes from such passion. And I want you all to hear her story. So Rhea, what was the challenge that you were dealing with pre-RG?
Sure. So back in 2019, my agency was undergoing a lot of change. Our chief was retiring. It was, who's going to fill the place. And I think I had counted within like a 6-month time period. I had 3 different chiefs, like 2 different assistant chiefs, 5 lieutenants, 4 sergeants, and
transition.
Yes, and everyone has to put like their stamp on that like time. It was just there was no consistency whatsoever. And when they finally made the decision, I lost 2 of my biggest supporters in like one fell swoop and in the blink of an eye. And I was left reeling, not because I had just lost them, but because the people who took over were not as good support. So it became very stressful. It became very just miserable to be at work. I lost coworkers because they didn't want to be in our unit anymore, and that was just like devastating. Like it was just anybody who could get out of our unit did because they were over it, just because it was just so just stressful. So yeah, I remember like I just feeling like I was like on a ledge and just waiting for the next feather to come along and knock me off, and I go crashing to the ground. Like it was a miserable feeling. And I remember waking up one morning, and I always like try to read something when I wake up so I don't go back to sleep. And for whatever reason, total kismet, like totally meant to be, I accidentally clicked on my LinkedIn app, which I never do in the morning and I barely do now as it is. And the first thing that I see is Rising Genius. And I wish like I had screenshot it just for like sentimental purposes at this point. I remember saying something to the effect of, do you want to find your genius? And me being the overachiever and really just looking for something, I was like, yes, I do. So I remember looking a bit more, and I was like, okay, well, you just have to, put in your name and information. I was like, okay, like totally like counterintuitive to how I would typically be. So I'm like, yeah, let's put in the information. Let's see what I get. And then it was like, oh, well, Dawn will be contacting you. And I didn't know you, but you had name recognition. Like I knew who you were through IACA. So it wasn't like I was just reaching out to some like random stranger or anything like that. So I quit comfortable, but it was still outside of my like normal comfort zone. And I remember the first conversation I had with you, and oh my gosh, like if I was feeling at like a 1 before I talked to you, I was definitely at least at like a 6 or a 7, because your enthusiasm and your energy just comes through on that conversation, and how much you care and how much you like you want to be there for people, and like it sold me on, okay, I need to do this. Like I put myself through school. I've purchased like trainings for myself if work didn't want to do it, or I didn't want work to touch it. I bought more books than I think I'll ever have time to read. So like
So you were into the development already, and you're just like, I'm going for it.
Yeah, I think you have to be the one that's like the most willing to invest in yourself. It's great that the agency supports you, obviously, but they're not. You don't always want them involved, and you have to find ways to how you're going to invest in yourself. And this, that I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm not sure I'm going to get out of it, but I'm going to do this. And it was like,
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, oh, me too, because it was life changing for me, and I did what I was looking for when I found it. Like I didn't know this is what I needed, and so I went through the summer program. It was the shortened program, 6 weeks or something like that. And during that time, shit just hit the fan, and like things went so wrong so quick. And if I know I would have gotten through it, but having like your support, having like your just wisdom and guidance, like it just made it so much easier. Because I know like it was probably 2 days after everything happened where I was told I wasn't wanted and needed, and go back yourself out the door. I remember I was talking to you, and I don't even think I got past hi before I started sobbing. And I don't know how you like understood a single word I said, because I couldn't have been making any sense. But it's true, because I like my boyfriend gets like frustrated with me when I call him like that upset. I can't understand a word you're saying. So I don't know if you understood. But you sat there and you were so supportive, and you were like, okay, so what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm leaving, I know that, but I don't know anything else. And it was how to find that next solution, and what to do. And it was so helpful.
It's wonderful.
It easier to have that support that I had, like that I needed back in my corner, that I was looking for. And meeting you and getting into the RG program definitely made an impact on my trajectory to where I am today.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You're getting some love over here. Go ahead and show her some love. Chantel's giving you some love. When you are in those crisis modes, right, and you don't know what to do, trusting somebody is hard, right? But you knew you needed to do something. You knew you needed a change. You were having imposter syndrome. You were, lacking your confidence. You dove into the program, and, the work was really you. You really did the work, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and just giving you some love. And so, and it sounds like one of your favorite things was just that, like having that person in your corner to support you and guide you and get you to think a little bit differently. And since then, you've actually joined in you had joined in the leadership portion of the program too. What's that experience been like for you?
So I definitely wanted to, like, leadership for me, it means different things to different people. For me, I have no desire or drive to ever be a supervisor. I like being in the trenches as an analyst. Like that, like I am just so passionate about that, and I just want to keep doing that. But just because I don't have the title doesn't mean that I don't want to be able to lead with authority still, and lead by influence. And that's where I really didn't have like a strong skill set. So where I used to be, I felt like I always had to, especially towards the end, I was reactive. I had to defend myself. Like it was just not healthy. And now from both programs, RG and RG leadership, I've like learned to like, okay, step back. You don't have to react to everything. Like some things not everything is a fire, right? We talked about that earlier today. Like I literally have 0 fires ever in my inbox. Cool.
I love it. I love it. You went from total forest fire to having 0 fires in your inbox because of implementing the module system, because of, you know, you doing the work, you being open and coachable to really say, all right, I'm here, but I want to be here. How do I get there? You already read the books. You already tried things on your own, and you're like, I need more. And
No,
so, yeah.
so like I had established boundaries where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I didn't go about it the best way. And we talked about how I could have done things a little different. Don't know if it would have changed anything at all. And I don't regret my decisions there. But I actually had an opportunity where I'm now, where I've met some detectives that had been assigned to us. And one was like, okay, so give me your phone number, we'll contact you and we'll text you, and then you get all the credit and you get the overtime. And then I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
You were
My
clear. You were clear.
network, you can't even authorize any of that. So no, he was not having that. I was like, oh well, I don't know.
We have a question from one
Oh,
of the folks here. Caroline says, Rhea, what is the best part of the program in your opinion? What's the best part for you?
coaching, but also the community, because I did not realize I was looking for that. And because of because of RG, that I have a tribe beyond Tribe of Excellence. I have a tribe, I have a community, I have people who constantly rise each other. And it's just, you don't know what you're looking for until you find it.
Yep.
And I found it, and I don't ever want to lose it. Like the people that I spend Tuesday nights with are amazing.
I love it. I love it. And so, you know, yes, Andrew says with like-minded folks. Yeah. And so, you know, where you had already, like, you had that invest in me mentality. You had the mentality of, I put myself through a couple of classes. I bought a couple books. You knew that you were investing money, time in you. And then to join RG, you also invested your time, your energy, your resources. What would you say to somebody who hasn't had any investment in themselves before? What would you say to them to encourage them to move forward in their growth and development?
You have to invest in yourself. If you're not going to, who else is? Who else is?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's great for agency supports you, and I know we have some of our participants that have, and that's phenomenal for them. I feel like that's a huge step in our profession to have agencies recognize the need for this, because there isn't this anywhere else, right?
No.
Like this one, like very unique type of like opportunity. So you have to be willing to invest in yourself, and what you put into this, you are 100% going to get out of. Your return on that investment is going to be phenomenal. I recently had my 1 year anniversary at my new agency, and I spent time like reflecting on this past year. COVID, I mean, the whole, like, it just turned into like a complete like dumpster fire, like literally day one I started there. But I look back and I'm like, I'm so chill. I'm so relaxed. My boyfriend sees a massive difference because he was the one that keep like gluing my poor little psyche back together. You know, and being that like defender of, then don't go back. F them. Who cares? Like, we don't need that. Like, we can't do that because it's just I'm like, I see where I was trusted, being hired in as that senior analyst, to be that authority, to have that influence.
Yeah.
And I'm humbled by that, and I don't take that lightly, and so I want to make the most of it. So I'm see, like, my mind shift is different. How I think is different. How I act is different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that makes a big difference for me.
I'm so proud of you. And what you're really talking about, you know, you had said there's nothing else like this, and you're right. Like, there's nothing else that targets the leadership piece, whether or not you're titled, the leadership of self piece, the building relationships piece, the building your people, the strategic visioning, like all the stuff that you need to know, and has that one-on-one coaching piece and that community. You're part of that community. You're part of the team that, you know, you practice coaching with other coaches, right? With other leaders right? You practice and
And
learn
that's,
and grow together.
I'm sorry, but the coaching part for us is so different. Like how learning how to ask questions, how to phrase them, how to dig for more instead of just going, here's your solution. Obviously, like duh. That is the whole the whole purpose of coaching is to help that person find their solution, help them work through it. And if
Yep.
we're always telling people, well, just do it this way, or I mean, do it that way, you know,
Yeah.
people aren't always looking for advice. They're looking for that, like maybe guidance, but asking those questions helps guide them there. And I think we've had like some really great breakthroughs from
Mm-hmm.
people who, we've all been coached and we all get to ask like those questions. And I think there's been really like complex issues for people at their agencies and even just personal things or just like random emotional things like imposter syndrome and just having those like breakthroughs
Yeah.
and saying, okay, if we didn't
Yes.
have that, would those breakthroughs happen? If we
Yeah.
didn't have that, would those of us who deal with imposter syndrome, which nothing to be ashamed of, we
Mm-hmm.
all have that at times. Are we good enough? Are we not good enough? How can we
Mm-hmm.
get better? Like
Yeah.
compare ourselves, but at the same time, like if you're comparing yourself to what you want to be, not necessarily a bad thing, or where you want to
Mm-hmm.
get, but like if
So,
yeah, but if we didn't have that, if that opportunity, would we have that? Would we have those breakthroughs?
and I think what you're really talking about is this incubator, right? We've created this incubator that supports you at all of these stages, whether you're in that crisis mode or where you are now, which is in a good space and you're ready for that growth and development, wherever you are in your stage of leadership growth, we're building in those core components. We're building in the people are just there to love on you and support you and grow you. And then of course the accountability piece, that one-on-one piece is just moving you forward in your own personal goals. So and all of it's wrapped up in this like massive hug of leadership of self.
Yep.
So the fact that your boyfriend was like, you're happier, Rhea, like you're in this professional role, you're doing a great job and you're happier, and I feel like I can communicate with you and all the things, is a huge testament to all the work that you've done during your experience in the program and beyond, right? And so I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful that you share your story, and that you encourage people to really recognize the value of investing in themselves. I remember when I hired my first coach, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, can I really do this? Can I spend money on myself? Like, and not like an outfit. Like, can I spend money on myself? And I almost didn't do it. And then I ended up doing it. I was like, oh, I'll just bite the bullet and I'll just do it. I'm sure it's going to be great. It changed my world. It changed my world. I had different levels of thinking that I could reach to when I had trouble, right? And so and so ever since then I've never not had a coach, right? I've never not had a coach. So I'm in multiple coaching programs for multiple areas of my life. And so what we try to do in this program is get these areas all in one, right? So that we're really helping that professional, that organization, that efficiency piece with that leadership of self, that community, that sense of camaraderie, right in there. So what you're talking about, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you that you've just completely shifted, and so much so that you're like, I want in. I want to join. So
Please
let's see. Caroline
don't.
says, if you're ready to see change quickly and positively, then a coach is for you. Yeah, I've been in your shoes. Absolutely. And we as a
We
team have solutions.
absolutely. I'm sorry, I need to interrupt. But I think as somebody who didn't ever consider having a coach, and even when I got into the summer program, like I still didn't even like really wrap my head around a coach, right? But it we it's not you don't have to want to be a supervisor. You don't have to want to be like a legit CEO of a company to have a coach or whatever. Like you hire a coach to help you work out and get stronger that way. Like having you as my coach, my mentor, my friend, like that has been so big because no matter what, you're always there right in my corner to like
Mm-hmm.
celebrate whatever it is or to just
Mm-hmm.
you know empathize and just be that sympathetic ear. And so I think we have, like, for those who aren't sure or who never thought about having a coach, you just have to shift that mindset. You know, you had said it before, I think during like a pod we had or something like that, that like that you couldn't get to that next step without a coach, right?
Yep.
Like you could keep like trying and trying and trying, but you weren't able to just reach that next step without a coach. And it's the same thing here. Like we can read all the books and we can do all the Google searches and stuff, but without somebody who's like blazed that path for us,
Exactly.
we're just going to struggle and spin our plates and, you know, spin our wheels and just be frustrated because we never find what we're looking for to just hit that next level, whatever that level is for you.
Exactly.
Like you guys said it in the live, it's custom tailored for what it is you need. So it doesn't. I'm an analyst in law enforcement. You know, like we have people who aren't analysts in our group. You know, like it doesn't matter what field you're in. Like it's here for you. You just have to want to invest in yourself and believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself.
And I think that's true. You have to believe in yourself for sure. And, you know, and thank you, Caroline, for sharing that. I definitely enjoy coaching. I love it. And we also have another great coach, Jen Koner, who supports folks in the RG program. So we have people who've been doing this who are just can help, just like we help with Rhea. And I'm so proud of you, Rhea. And now Rhea's morphing into the coach herself. And so, you know, really knowing that we have the building blocks that you need. Rhea, you took them, you digested them, you used them, and you never stopped. And I'm so proud of you for that. So thank you, Rhea, for joining us today. And for those of you who are just popping on, Rhea has shared her story of how she was in her mode. Her, you know, things were not easy for her. And then she decided to take a leap. She did something she never did before, which was invest in herself, invest in a coach, and really dive into her time and her energy and resources to say, this is important enough. And she did. She was so coachable. And now her boyfriend sees her as happier. Her career is on a way better path. She's, you know, exactly where she wants to be, doing the things that she wants to do. And she does not want to leave, so much so that she is now on board as one of our employees. She's part of our team. So you have a great story, Rhea, and I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for our team as in total. We have some of our group coaches, like we have Anna Mitchell, who comes in and talks to our group as a whole, and so many other supports for people who are really ready to up level. That's really what's it about. So you, like Rhea said, you don't have to be in crisis, right? Maybe you are right now, and maybe we can help you there. But you can also be in this space in your life where you just want to up level. And if that's the case, get on a call. And maybe Rhea will take the call. Rhea, will you take any calls?
You can message me. I've talked to people numerous times for questions. If you're not sure, whatever, please reach out to me, because like even though she's hired me now, like even before any of that, I believe in this so much, which is why I'm so always happy to share my story, because I know that there are people who are there right now dealing with that, and that's very unfortunate, and that always hurts my heart to hear that. But you don't have to be there. You can be where I am now. You can be where Michelle is now. You can be where Caroline is now, and all the other success stories. And there are so many of them. And Andrew will be here at 5 to tell you his. Like I mean, it's just, yeah. Like you just
do it.
You're not gonna lose. That's the thing. Like you're not gonna lose, and that's it. I mean, I can guarantee you that. So, but yeah, any questions, whatever. Like I'm more than happy to chat with you.
Awesome. Caroline says that, Colleen says that she's glad to see that you're at a better place. Roberta is popping on in here and you're getting some love. So let's go ahead and give Rhea some love before we pop off here and create some space for Andrew at 5 p.m. today. Thank you, Eastern rather, 5 p.m. Eastern today. Rhea, thank you for popping on and sharing your story. I know it's sometimes hard to think back about where you were just a short period ago and how far you've come. And so thank you for your commitment to you. Thank you for your commitment to the peers around you as you continue to support them. And thank you for being here with us today to just share your story. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for being you, because I wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you guys at 5 o'clock. Thank you, Rhea. Bye.